Have you heard of Africa? There is something called Africa. Have you heard of it? But you are busy with the tribes. You are busy with the tribes, with the denominations. Naye awo NRM webuuliza nti bannange mwali muwuliddeko kye bayita East Africa. Ate Africa yo mwali mugiwuliddeko? Katonda yeebazibwe oba mwagiwulirako. Those people, they can buy all your surplus. Abantu abo aba East Africa, aba Africa, bayinza kugula ebintu byammwe ebidibye. Hence, the second ideological principle of the NRM is Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism. Love Africa. Why? It is because you need it for your prosperity. Then we add other two principles, socio-economic transformation and democracy. Therefore, our constant advice to Ugandans is never to mix politics with the denominational loyalties. Politics is about our welfare on earth. Denominations and religion are about spirituality here on earth and life after, in heaven. Which aspects the religious leaders can speak about better. Coming to the religious groups, to harmony in the country and citizens' contribution. Coming to the religious groups, to harmony in the country and the citizens' contribution. As the former president of the Scripture Union, because I was president of the Scripture Union, (1965 to 1966), I like to quote the parable of the Good Samaritan, found in the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 30 to 35. It says, okay, you can go. That portion, it says, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. Likewise, a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was. And when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him, bandaged his wounds, poured in on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. End of quotes. I am told that the Samaritans were not mixing with the Jews for reasons known to themselves. However, the Samaritan helped the injured man while his fellow Jews, who were also religious leaders, a Pharisee and a Levite, passed him by, bakamarabaho, bamuyitako. Jesus praised the Samaritan, which reinforces another religious teaching, which says that we shall know them by their fruits. We shall judge them by their actions. Coming to religious harmony, as a former president of the Scripture Union, I like to quote the Church of Uganda prayer book on page 207. It says that, let your light so shine before men. Even the Archbishop Orombi quoted it. I think we had conspired by telepathy, because he also quoted it. It says, let your light so shine before men that they see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven. End of quotes. Do not attack other religions to prove that you are the only agent of God on earth. Influence people by example. In the bush, I would like the Interreligious Council one day to invite me so that I tell them about what we did in the bush for 5 years. In the bush, I lived very closely with the peasants, where you had Catholics at Chijaguzo, Kasana, Anglicans, Chirema, Kufu, Busunju, Timuna, Bachwanga, Kaloke, Muslims, Kangave, Kaumu, and the traditional religion everywhere. Indeed, most of the Christians and Muslims were also believers in the traditional religion. Many people don't know this. But me, I lived with the peasants. They are Christians in the morning and in the Masabo, in the night. I lived with them. I know the whole story. We united all of them around the knowledge of science. What I would do, I would not condemn whatever they are doing, except if it endangered life. Otherwise, I would say, okay, I've heard what you have said, but now we are fighting. And fighting needs science. Doesn't need superstition. We united all of them around the knowledge of science. A bullet kills, while prayers help, and olumuli, a reed held by a fighter, is not protection against bullets. Because sometimes these traditional people would say, tell our soldiers, if you hold olumuli, a reed, the bullet will not catch you. Because that is Omsambwa. We would say, no, please. You stand there and we shoot you and we see. So, we would unite them around science. That is how our prominent Mayembist, because the traditional people believe in Mayembe, the horns, they have horns which they throw around. Our prominent Mayembist, Dodoviko, Garimpitawa, Amayembe Garimpitawa, of Mijinje, said, Emundu Tetia Mayembe. That's what Dodoviko said. Said the gun does not fear bullets. It does not fear bullets. The bullet does not fear the Mayembe. So, by interaction, we're able to influence them, to move in the right direction. However, you could see that a number of times there was a divine intervention on our side. You could see that God was intervening on our side. This confirms our ancestors saying, Lubale Mbera Nembero Kota Day. God helps those who help themselves. This also goes with the parable of the talents. It is also more or less in that line. This year, the government gave the Catholics shillings 2 billion, the Protestants shillings 2 billion, and the Muslims shillings 200 million for this occasion. I have directed the government to make this contribution part of the government budget annually. Since many Ugandans participate, I'm very happy to see all of you coming, walking, sleeping here. Very happy, very happy. We are very happy to see this. As you all know, the government spent billions modernizing this infrastructure you see today at both the Catholic and Protestant sites. When the Muslims are ready, we shall also support them, because I'm told some Muslim followers were also killed by Mwanga. So I'm very glad that when we came from the bush, we interacted with the Cardinal Subuga and Dunstan Subuga of Namirembe, and we agreed that the 3rd of June should be a public holiday. That's how because in the past, they would celebrate the 3rd of March at the weekend, when it had already passed. But we said, no, this is a very big event. Let's have a holiday for it. Let's make it a holiday. So I'm very glad when I come and see so many of our people walking and participating and remembering those young people 140 years ago who rejected the narrow-mindedness of Mwanga and his cruelty. So I congratulate everybody. May God bless you, and long live Uganda, long live the freedom of worship. Thank you very much.